Welcome once again to Mario is Missing by Skywrites. I have a bit of an unfortunate, two unfortunate habits when it comes to speaking. I tend to speak fast, and also I mumble. So logically, this is the absolute perfect thing for me to be doing. Reading a story out loud. Well, anyway, today it is Chapter 3, You Better Do It Right. Alright? I didn't want to think about my meeting with the princess. I had hoped maybe she would have cleared everything up, that she could ease my worries. But in the back of my mind, I felt a gnawing dark, like a chain chomp that hadn't eaten in days, abandoned by its owners. It was angry, it was hungry, and it wanted nothing more than to make itself known, to let the world know how terrible and awful it was. The more time went on, the louder and angrier it became. I should keep my head clear, focus on Daisy's case. Just do that. It's easier to think about that, easier to think about anything else. We were back out on Mushroom Street, back into the mushy rain of the city. At least there, the little mushroom lamps glowed with a pleasant yellow through their speckles, casting an almost starry light across the buildings. Toads walked about the streets in their mushroom umbrellas and mushroom raincoats, chattering away and enjoying their nights. I couldn't help but be jealous of them. I wish I could be as happy as they were. It didn't surprise me to see so many people out on this wet night. Rain was an inevitability in New Donk City. Us New Donkians just got used to it. If you weren't soaked somewhere, you weren't in New Donk. Okay. I know this is. I know. I think that the name of this city is starting to get to me. It's just a little funny. I noted how clean the streets were here too. No chain chomps, no loose piranha plants, no leaking pipes in need of fixing, no potholes, and no Goombas. Well, except Goombella. She walked ahead of me confidently, or at least as confidently as one could in a place where no one else looked like you. She put on a tough face, but if there's one thing I understand, it's the fear of not fitting in.
Evening, Goombella,
said a toad, carrying various items haphazardly in an old crate. Mushrooms jiggled and badges threatened to topple out at any moment.
Evening, Thief. Say hello to Plen for me, will ya? I'll probably stop by later after the usual.
With a casual motion, she jumped into the air and bonked a fallen mushroom back into the perpetual state of unbalance in the toad's arms, saving him quite a bit of trouble.
Can do.
It wasn't long before another cheerful toad came by.
Hi, Goombella.
Hello, Min. Garden doing well in all this rain?
You bet. My flowers are thirsty, little fellas.
Before the other toad could even finish talking, a pair of toad kids found themselves rushing towards us, barely able to contain their excitement. Goombella frowned.
Hey, Dane, you two shouldn't be out this late.
The one in red waved a letter out as he zoomed by, giggling with his friend.
Sorry, Miss Bella, but I had a letter waiting for me. I couldn't wait. We'll go home right away, promise.
Just when I thought there couldn't possibly be another, I found myself stumbling over Goombella's stopped form, desperately trying not to step on her yet again.
Goombella, or should I say Miss Stubsalot, a raspy old voice cried.
Raspy, even for a toad.
Is that you?
Yes, you know it's me, She caught herself with a slight stutter. Miss T. The old woman frowned, her eyes glaring dangerously at Goombella, seeing all too well.
Oh, excuse me, it seems you must have forgotten that you stepped on my contact lenses, leaving me virtually blind. Then you had the gall to forget to pay me back, too. I said I was sorry. I'll pay you back soon, okay?
Goombella growled, trying her best to hide her temper and failing.
Oh, I do hope so. I'd hate to tell Princess Peach about this,
the Toad Woman said in a tone that implied she actually would not hate to tell the Chief of Police about this.
Money's tight, okay? I'm still paying off student loans, and I didn't ask for your life story, Stompy. I think you'll find it quite hard to be a chef when you can't tell the difference between a cucumber and a shoe. I also need money to live too, you know.
I had to wonder what a shoe would be doing so close to her cooking ingredients, but I knew better than to ask.
Sorry, I'll pay you back as soon as I can, Miss T.
We'll see, was her reply, and goodbye. Goombella let out a troubled sigh, like she had been holding her breath the entire time. Wait, no, never mind. Cut that out. That's not... Or don't cut that out. I don't know, should I really... I don't want to have to cut too much stuff out, because then it just becomes a reading, and a really bad reading, because my comments are in the middle. I want this to be a casual thing. Goombella looked back up at me with a frown. She's not so bad. Rough around the edges, sure, but she's totally a master chef and has a kind heart once you get to know her, you know? I've never been a good cook, so I have to respect her skills. Have to respect her skills, It felt more like a command. For whatever reason, people tend to let their guard down around me. Maybe I'm naturally forgettable, or just appear so pathetic that I couldn't possibly harm them. Either way, once we had made it to a dark alleyway and the toads could no longer accost Goombella, I saw her cheerful smile falter, her bright pink skin appear to dim, and she could finally rest her facial features, which are probably important to Goombella, considering their faces are like 90% of their body. A wet tarp stood before us, covering up some large thing that was very mysterious. Goombella grunted and quickly pulled the tarp off with her sharp teeth, ruining the air of mystery I was trying to set up. Underneath it was a cute dark blue scooter with a speckled red and white mushroom of the NBT on it. At its ends a pair of police lights sat forlornly, as if beginning to light up, yearning for that thrill of the chase. They didn't seem to be used much. It looked like a custom-made scooter for Goombas, with its pedals extremely close to the seat. So, yeah, this is my ride, Goombella said with a sigh. Sorry, it's probably not what you were expecting or hoping for. I had to admit, it wasn't what I expected, but to be completely fair, I didn't know what to expect a Goomba could even drive. Why wasn't it parked in the front station, though? Why did she leave it here, all alone in this dark alley? Goombella's lips formed a tight line. She was trying to play it tough. The toads at the station tease me about it, especially with Toadette gone. They don't mean any harm, I know they don't. Maybe if I just told them it bothered me? But she couldn't, could she? It was never that easy to tell someone, hey, that hurts my feelings, because then suddenly you're a real person with feelings and emotions. Because then suddenly you're saying to that person, you've hurt me, you've attacked me, you're a horrible person, and you don't want to do that. You don't want to hurt them like they hurt you, so you smile and laugh and pretend it's okay. Just let go. I hate it here, she said, gloomily, looking out of the alleyway and into Mushroom Street. The alley, I mean. Sure, Goombella. She hopped up onto her seat with incredible ease, leaving me astonished at her jumping skills. She motioned for me to sit behind her as she scooched her feet onto the pedals and placed the handlebar in her mouth. I shamefully hesitated. What, afraid I'll crash? Goombella said, mouthful of handlebar. I've been driving since I was in high school. Never hit anyone. Only one who ever hit me was some old Koopa who blamed me. Not that I could exactly prove it wasn't my fault. I had to pay for his repairs and mine. Easier to blame the Goomba girl with no arms, right? She shook her head and mumbled. Damn coot. Not like she know any better. Even now, she still couldn't hold any ill will against whoever this coot was. I quickly and clumsily gathered myself up onto the scooter's back seat, wondering desperately what I was meant to hold on to. Goombella was too short to hold. I gripped the siren's lights desperately as soon as the scooter hummed to life. I let out a small shriek as we shot out of the alleyway and into the streets. Hey man, come on, I drove all the way here with you on my head, you know. Goombella groaned, mouth still full of handlebar. I only dropped you a couple of times. I'm sure we'll totally be fine. As time went on, I felt myself become more and more comfortable with her driving. She was a lot safer than I would have imagined. Every stop sign she made sure to come to a complete stop. Every cart she gave a wide berth. She was perfect. Somehow, without her arms, she even managed to put her blinkers on at every turn, too. People cut her off. People didn't even notice she existed. But she was always ready for them. Always ready for anyone else's mistakes. She had to be perfect, after all. Anything less and they'd hit her. We had no umbrella for either of us, but for once I can't say I minded. The rainy streets were more smoothing than I remembered. As long as I wasn't the one making decisions, it wasn't so bad. The neon lights were very pretty, especially the way they bled out into the wet black streets of the pavement. fireflower oranges, mushroom reds, Koopa shell greens, all mixed together in a wonderful watercolor before us. So, Goombella started, trying to break the silence as she drove. You know Daisy? The Daisy? Her voice wasn't quite so gloomy anymore when she spoke of that woman. I told her that Daisy was actually staying in my apartment right this moment. Like it was an exciting thing, and I actually knew who Daisy was before this night even started.
Really? She's at your place right now?
Goombella said excitedly, but still keeping her eyes and mouth on the road.
I love Daisy. Well, not love like that, but she's totally like a hero to me.
Huh? Daisy? Of all people? Why?
It's just...
Goombella tried not to sound like she was drooling on the handlebars as she craned her whole body to the left at the intersection.
She's so good at sports.
She coughed.
Sports, I mean. I've always wanted to be good at any sport, Tennis, golf, baseball, kart racing, something. And there's just... Well, it's not like there's any Goombas to look up to.
We came to a gentle stop at one of the lights, the bright red of it bearing down over both of us. She let her mouth leave the handlebars.
I just wish I could do any of that.
I wanted to say something. I should say something. I should say something like, you're driving so well right now. You're doing a great job as a policewoman. You could play soccer, I bet. But the light turned green, and Goombella didn't have her mouth on the bars. She didn't accelerate right away, and of course...
I'm going!
She grumbled, pressing her feet to the gas. She had made one mistake, and this city was not about to let her slide. It was probably my fault she messed up, but I couldn't find the courage to tell her that either. She didn't say anything anymore. She left me alone with my thoughts in the rain and the hushed zooms of carts floating over the slick streets. I felt like a boo. Didn't want to be seen, yet wanted to be heard anyway. She probably wanted to focus on her driving. Got a ways to go.
Oh, frick, no, damn it. Now it's... Damn, I think I got a little tiny bit up my nose.
Cool if we stop by Torre's place and grab a snack? Goombella asked, already parked in front of the brightly lit bakery. I couldn't exactly say no since we were already there. I wasn't in the mood to eat. I couldn't remember the last time I ate.
I'm buying, don't worry.
The shop was the same as it's always been. Their huge bundt cake eyed me through the window. No matter how many times people told them it wasn't a bundt cake, they wouldn't listen. And no matter how many times people told them that the cake was staring at them, they also didn't listen. Its candles glowed eternally, never melting. The frosting was as white and pure as the day they made it. Its sugary delicacy begging to be tasted, but no one could afford it. So it sat, and waited, and moved. It moved! I swear this thing moved! Why wouldn't anyone believe me? I hate coming here! The cake always glares at me! Ugh, just forget it, Luigi. You'll loosen it. I looked across the street to see the Chocola-Cola store still bubbling with its fizzy lights. At its front, a large barrel sat, bubbling. I had no proof, but I could swear that the soda was giving the cake a stink eye through the window. I could swear the soda was giving the cake a stink eye through the window somehow. Some strange bean man stood, whispering something into the fizzy pink liquid, pointing at Torre's shop before making an exaggerated laughing motion. A short man and a tall man entered the soda shop, mirroring Goombella and I entering the bakery. Okay, that's the superstar soccer boss. I don't remember what his name is. Chocolator? Something. The living Chocola-Cola bottle. And obviously the old man whispering is the founder or whatever. Anyway, man, I love this. These references are so great. Man. Come on, I want to get out of... Okay, a little less whiny this time. Come on, I want to get out of this rain for a bit, Goombella whined. Okay. As she pushed the glass door open with her face, I probably should have gotten the door for her. Welcome, welcome! Is he German? Chef Torre exclaimed as the doorbells jingled, although they sounded more like wedding bells than regular shop bells. The Terrapin's helmet found Goombella instantly, seeing her through the visor. I always found it so strange how he wore that heavy armored helmet like that, all while wearing a chef's hat too. Terrapins were strange creatures, clearly just Koopas, but the only difference being that they wore armor at all times. I suppose I could understand the urge to be different, but was wearing heavy metal armor really the best way to do it? Why did they want to deny their Koopa heritage? Did they think they were better than Koopas? These are questions I was much too terrified to ever ask.
Ah, Goombella, is that you?
The chef cried out, his helmet clanking.
And you bring the man today. Who is the lucky bachelor? Ho ho ho.
He's not French.
Who is the lucky bachelor? Ho ho.
He laughed, smashing his gauntlets/bacon gloves together, smearing flour everywhere.
I heard the wedding bells already. Maybe you will want to buy my wedding cake, eh?
She frowned, slightly offended. To be honest, I was a lot more offended considering I lived near here and have been here multiple times, yet Torde still didn't know who I was. No, Torde, Goombella sighed. I'm not... She paused, trying to get her thoughts together. For one, it's not like that. This is Luigi, I'm just taking him home from the station. For two, I couldn't afford your cake even if I wanted it. 3, can we just get some jelly donuts like usual? Torde's armor was too strong, too thick to allow anything she said to penetrate his ego.
Ho ho, just take the loan. A wedding cake is the most important part of the life. You will not regret.
Goombella looked up at me, eyebrows raised and fangs looking sharp. Does he do this to you every time? He doesn't even know who I am. Fair point. She shook her head and let out a sigh. Just a dozen jelly donuts, will ya? She looked at me. Have as many as you want, Luigi. Whatever you don't eat, I'll just give to the boys back at the station. I had to admit, it felt nice having someone trying to get me to eat again. Usually that was Mario's job.
Ah, yes, yes, for the wonderful policewoman, I charge only 5 coins,
he said with a smile, or at least probably a smile I couldn't see under his helmet.
The morons across the street, they do not care about the boys in blue like I do.
Goombella nodded along like she had heard this speech 1,000 times, probably from Cork and Cask too. She reached for her wallet with her mouth and dropped each coin on the counter, one at a time, with a rather loud clang. I wonder if I should have offered to help, or is that rude? Torde didn't seem to care, as long as he got his coins.
Thank you,
he said, his armor clanking as he assembled the pretty pink box of donuts together in a flash. Goombella nodded, balancing the box on her police hat with ease. She took us over to one of the many empty tables. Wasn't a busy night tonight. Chef Torde went to the back of his kitchen, yelling at his apprentice, like always, probably thinking the customers can't hear. Goombella grabbed a spare box from the counter and placed it on her chair, refusing to use one of the kiddie chairs to better seat herself with. All right, Luigi, let's have a chat. Maybe I can help you find this crown or your brother. Go on, have a bite first. Really wasn't hungry. I didn't want a donut. Yet my hands found their way into the box and grabbed one of the sugary treats. This one was shaped and colored like one of the mushrooms at the station. Cute. With Goombella, it didn't feel like it was an order to eat. It didn't feel like she was making me do it. It felt like she wanted me to, and somehow that made me want to? I didn't understand it myself. I took a bite anyway. Soft and flaky and filled with a delicious strawberry jam. It was better than I thought it'd be. I told her about Daisy, the drugs, the gambling, the partying, and I told her about the crown I was supposed to find. She watched me, eyes skeptical, disbelief all over her face. Really? Daisy did all that? And lost her crown? No, that can't be right. It's true, she told me all herself. I've known her for about 20 minutes. It all seems very in character for her. But she's a hero to sport enthusiasts everywhere, Goombella grumbled, chomping on a Koopa shell donut of her own. She really told you all that? Is she really like that? I shrugged. Probably. I don't know why she'd lie about any of that. I could see the hurt in Goombella's eyes. Maybe I should have lied a bit, but I'm a terrible liar. Well, whatever, that doesn't matter. She's still a sports champion. Again, she tried to put on that brave face of hers. It only made her seem lonelier to me, though. So, you don't know anything about her crown, do you? Or where it could be? I didn't even know what it looked like. What? Are you serious? Haven't you seen her on TV? She asked, mouth full of fruity filling. I shrugged. Well, it's your standard crown, gold and all that, but with this really pretty sapphire in the center of it, and around it it's got white petals, like, a daisy, you know? Why, it's more turquoise than sapphire, someone said nasally behind her. I wouldn't say it's pretty. Why? Bella grumbled. Okay, fine, I mean, if you want to argue semantics, I guess.
Will you be quiet, rookie? You always go blathering on when we're trying to rob a place, see?
Wah, the nasally voice whined. But boss, we just had the clown. I think I know a little more about what it looks like than she does. Why, I oughta... Goombella blinked, confused. Wait, where have I heard those voices before? And what did you just say about robbing? Nobody move! This is a stick-up, see? I froze, as that seems to be my natural defense mechanism to these sorts of things. Goombella grunted, keeping still, but her muscles tense. There was a deep frown etched into her face, and I could see she was embarrassed to get so caught off guard.
What? What is happening in here?
Torde shouted, angry and confused, which was sort of the norm.
Wah! Boss said nobody move!
The nasally voice replied, sounding uncomfortably familiar to me. The voice belonged to an incredibly tall, slender man. Unfortunately, his eyes were hidden behind a black thief's mask, so I couldn't identify him. Yeah, sure. He wore purple, though, and a cap similar to mine with an upside-down L on it. Yeah, unidentifiable. Gee, I wonder who would... Who was this mystery robber? You know, Luigi, I really wonder.
Shut up, rookie!
The smaller one said angrily, instantly quieting the taller one. He waved his fire flower around, the orange petals glowing with a dangerous heat, ready to fire at the slightest of movements.
You just put all your coins in the bag and ain't nobody has to get hurt, see?
Getting a better look at him, I could tell he was a beanish person. His green skin was a big indicator, and his huge square teeth a dead giveaway. He wore a thief's mask as well, but it worked way better on him than the tall guy.
Guys across the street make it nice and easy for us.
The taller one's long pink nose tilted up high in an awful laugh. Chef Torde sneered inside his helmet, enough for everyone to see without anyone ever actually seeing. I don't know how he did that.
Oh, the cork and cast morons were robbed, the idiots!
But why do you not rob Torte first? The beanish man frowned in confusion, his angry teeth hidden only for this moment.
Huh? We just robbed the first place we saw, see? See, I see. But does the cake in front not grab your attention?
Torte went on, pushing his luck. The robber seemed to have a temper as short as he was. He set a fireball loose in the shop, bouncing and burning tables and cakes in the process. I let out a shriek as it whizzed past my face, but at least Torde was shrieking with me, so I didn't look completely pathetic.
Just put the money in the bag or I'm torching this dump, see?
He screamed, clenching his fists and grinding his teeth together.
Yes, sorry,
Chief Torde cried, opening the cash register. The dopey duo quickly scurried up to the counter, the taller one greedily holding out his big sack of stolen goods open. I noticed a couple of Coca-Cola bottles mixed in there with the gold coins.
Popple,
Goombella sighed, shaking her head. Did you learn nothing from your last partner?
What'd you say, you dumb broad?
The angry little bean hissed, pointing the fire flower in our direction. I felt my heart pounding in my skull. What was she doing? Leave me out of this. Goombella raised an eyebrow at the threat, completely unfazed. Croco went down just 2 weeks ago for robbing an orphanage. The one known as Papa was practically strangling the fire flower now, his veins pulsing with what I could only assume was furious magma.
You thinks I don't know that? Crocker was the best partner I ever had, see?
His voice seized with anger as he spoke the next name. Think I like working with this big, dumb, lanky rookie? Wah, the taller man said forlornly, stifling a sniffle as Torde continued to pour his coins into the bag. And Waluigi, Goombella continued, her tone now more like a scolding sister than a police officer. Your cousin is finally starting to change, finally getting into less trouble. What would he think about you sinking so low?
Don't you say nothing to that broad, rookie,
Popple screamed, pointing the cocked fire flower at his supposed partner.
Wait, that's Waluigi? Wait, Goombella knew who Waluigi was before she even knew who I was? Waluigi didn't even recognize me? If I wasn't so terrified at that moment, I'd probably have felt a lot more hurt.
Why, sure thing, boss, Waluigi said with a sad sigh. Wow, he really had sunk pretty low, hadn't he? Although I guess I'm not really one to talk. He was the one robbing me, after all.
You know,
Popple screeched, rushing over to our table in a rage.
I was gonna let you use Palookas off scot-free, see?
Ugh, I could feel his hot, angry breath against my face. But now yous twos can give me all your money too. How generous of yous! You realize that I'm NDPD, don't you, Popple? Goombella said, with a completely straight face. It only angered him further, as unbelievable as that sounded.
That's the great shadow thief Popple, the yous toots!
He screamed, steam hissing out of his ears.
And I don't care if you're Queen Bean herself, you'll be handling all your money over to me, see?
And though his green skin had turned boiled red, he still managed a terrible sneer. I'll be taking this as a little souvenir, see? and with a flash, he snatched the police hat right off of Goombella's head, leaving her feeling almost naked. I averted my eyes, but for the brief moment I saw her, she didn't seem too upset. This is definitely considered assaulting an officer at this point, Popple, Goombella said plainly. His grin quickly morphed back into that awful, angry scowl. His teeth audibly grinded, sending horrible waves of disgust through my spine.
I told you, I'm the great shadow thief Popple! Are you just stupid?
He was clutching the fireflower now as if it was his last thread of sanity, the plant's emotionless eyes staring directly into Goombella's.
Rookie, are you finished shaking down that drip? You need to take care of these two, see?
While Luigi let out a nasally shriek, similar to something I'd do. Is that what I'm like?
Right, yes, boss.
He stuttered, his long, clumsy legs striding over to us in just one movement. He looked me dead in the face and narrowed his eyes. For a moment there seemed to be recognition, but he quickly pushed it aside.
Hand over your coin, stupid!
Sadly, I proved to be even more pathetic than Waluigi. Without so much as a deadly glare or a word of defiance, I shakily retrieved my coin purse and dropped all 20 of my shiny gold coins into the sack. Those would have come in handy.
Now the broad, see?
Popple said with a sweaty laughter, his fingers trembling over the fireflower's stem.
This'll teach you to mess with Popple, see?
Goombella's eyebrows raised slightly. Thought you were the great shadow thief, Popple. The mean bean was looking less green as his entire body was soon covered with a red sheen.
Why you? I had a... See?
He cursed incoherently, practically foaming at the mouth. While Luigi and I were both terrified, he quickly scurried over to Goombella, holding out his sack of stolen coins like a beggar.
What? Hand over the coins before the boss really loses his temper,
he said, then whispered, Please? She didn't even look him in the eyes. Sure. While Luigi let out a sigh of relief. I need help getting my wallet, though. I'm a Goomba. No arms, see? But didn't she just... Oh, sure, while Luigi said with an eager nod. He began to reach for her right pocket. No, not that one, she said calmly, the box underneath her feet wobbling as she moved her body.
Just get the damn coins, see?
Popple screeched. Sorry, ma'am. While Luigi apologized more to Popple than to anyone else, reaching for her other pocket. This one? Yep. Okay, Waluigi time, he mumbled to himself as he reached in.
Not so tough, are you big dumb broad?
Ah, you got me, Goombella said tonelessly as Waluigi fished through her pockets, finding nothing. The box beneath her feet began to shake more and more as he searched. Oh, I'm such a ditz. Must be the other pocket. Why, okay, Waluigi said gloomily, his hands shaking ever more as he tried to reach for yet another pocket. Popple loosened his grip on the fireflower, and just like that, it all came tumbling down. The box on the chair fell over, and the Goombella on top of the box also fell over, flying headfirst towards Popple, her fangs shining with a brilliant grin.
What the?
Was all Popple managed to get out, a fireball shooting out blindly. Said fireball and bounced against the wall and landed firmly against Waluigi's, his behind. Popple toppled over, power stars spinning over his head, the fireflower flying out of his hands.
Luigi, grab that fireflower!
She shouted at me. Oh, right, I'm here, I forgot. This was all very thrilling.
Okie dokie,
I replied, scrambling out of my chair and grabbing the fireflower before cradling it in my hands. I didn't want to bruise its leaves or petals. Fireflowers aren't bad, just the people who use them. Oh, this one's name was Marissa. I loved her right away. Maybe she and Charlie would get along?
Wow.
Waluigi squealed as he ran circles around the store, black smoke rising from his poor baked behind. Bella's long golden hair had fallen in front of her face in a frizzy mess, but even through all that I could see her smirk gleaming. She stood atop her downed foe. Waluigi, if you promise to play nice, I think I can convince Chef Torte here to give you a cool bucket of water. On the house.
Why, yes!
Waluigi cried, still running laps around the place. I wondered why he hadn't just run outside in the rain. Maybe he didn't want to leave his boss behind. Loyal to the end? Chef Torte, if you would be so kind. Goombella motioned, blowing her hair out of her face.
Ah, yeah, yes.
The chef agreed happily, clanking quickly to the back and grabbing a bucket of water for the poor, pathetic Luigi-like. Without a second to spare, Waluigi slammed his flaming behind down into the bucket, a misty steam rising from where he sat. Wah! He groaned contentedly, probably glad to not be on the fire anymore. Here's your coins back, Torte, Goombella said, tossing the sack of stolen goods onto the counter with ease. She had already fastened her police hat back on her head and tied her hair back to a normal ponytail again. I didn't see her do it. How'd she do all that? Chef Torde expressed his unending gratitude, also explaining how happy he was that the robbers were stopped in his store and not those idiot brothers' store across the way. He was happy only to take his fair share of coin back, hoping that Goombella would tell them how much of an honest, upright citizen he was to Cork and Cask. Definitely gloating. He offered Goombella her 5 coins back for the donuts, but she refused. I've got more important things to worry about right now, Goombella said with a grin, turning back to stewing Waluigi. Papa was out like a dormant volcano. Harmless, completely harmless, just like a dormant volcano. Yep, harmless.
Oopsie, sorry.
Waluigi laughed sheepishly. It looked like he was stuck in the bucket. So, where's Daisy's crown? Goombella demanded, glaring down Waluigi's long and, frankly, kinda gross pink nose. You said you knew what it looked like. And you two stole it, didn't you? But I didn't find it in the sack. Where is it? Waluigi groaned dumbly.
Yeah, we stole it from that Daisy chick.
Goombella growled. That's what I just said. So where is it now? Waluigi just stared blankly at her, looking at his boss's unconscious body. Talk, or I give you a bonking. That seemed to be a language he understood all too well.
Sorry!
He shrieked. Again, do I sound like that? Jeez.
We lost it in a game at Bowser's Castle. We bet the crown on it, and that dirty rotten turtle cheated us out of it. He walks funny, by the way.
Goombella kept her eyes firmly locked onto his, reading his every facial expression. You don't seem like you're lying, but why don't I trust you? Waluigi shrugged. Fair point, he didn't exactly have a trustworthy face. Or a trustworthy anything. Well, alright, why don't we take you over to Bowser's Castle and see what he has to say about your little story. Eh, Waluigi? Goombella raised her eyebrows, grinning wider than I'd ever seen. Waluigi was sweating bullets, but his eyes weren't focused on her for some reason. It was like there was some terrifying, mean green thing right behind it that sent nightmares. Oh, that's Popple. Maybe I should say something.
I'll pay you back in spades, kid!
Popple screeched, a tiny black bomb in his hand.
This one's for Croco, you dumb palookas!
Oh, and did I mention the fuse on his bomb was already lit? It was lit, by the way. What was the only thing Goombella managed to say before the blast of the tiny bomb exploded in her face, dazing her. Wah, wah, wah! Waluigi wa'd as he scrambled out of the front door with Popple, bucket still firmly stuck to his backside. Maybe I should have gone after them, but that was a little scary, and I didn't want to hurt Marissa here. That's the new fireflower I picked up, in case you forgot.
Ah!
Goombella coughed, black smoke and soot escaping her mouth with each huff.
Damn it! I had them!
Well, at least they left their stolen sack of stuff. Everything they had could go back to its rightful owners. I guess... Goombella coughed, listened to my strangely optimistic look at things. How unlike me. Damn it, I really could have used this. Peach would finally take me more seriously if I brought someone like Popple in. Damn it! But Goombella still did really well. I was in awe at her bravery, at her stoicism, at her everything. She saved the day and saved everyone's precious belongings. Wasn't that enough? No, it's not, Goombella said quietly. It's never enough. Unless it's perfect. Not when you're a Goomba. Yeesh, this wasn't good. She was looking pretty sad right now. I wasn't sure what to do. I was never sure what to do. But at least we had a lead on Daisy's crown. Maybe it was in Bowser's Castle? It's no good. I can't do it, she said gruffly. All her spunk and sass vanished in that cloud of black smoke. Peach specifically disallowed me to go near Bowser or his club. I'm not allowed near Smithy's part of the city or Cacletta's tower either. Huh? That's strange. Why would a police chief not allow her officers near strange criminals that cause trouble on a seemingly weekly basis? Kind of answered your own question there, didn't you? She said miserably, looking down at her feet. She doesn't want us getting hurt. Doesn't want me to cause trouble. Because that's all I do. You know the worst part? All it'd take is for Bowser to tattle on me to Peach, and I'd be fired. Wowee. Bowser and the others had more of a hold on this city than I ever thought. Is this why Mario never wanted to be a police officer? I don't know why I bothered, Goombella said glumly. I just I wanted to make this city safer. I wanted to make sure what happened to Professor Frankly never happened to anyone ever again. Professor Frankly? Frankly, I had no idea who that was. Was she talking to herself? Wait, she started, her eyes lost in thought. I can't go to Bowser's Castle. Yeah, we established that a few paragraphs up already. No, I can't go to Bowser's Castle. But you can, Luigi, she said, her eyes regaining some of that spunky energy again. What? Me? By myself? Think about it. You could go there, find Daisy's crown, and you could totally learn about what happened to Mario too, you know? The golden sheen on her hair was back already, and the spring was sprung in her steps. I did want to find out what happened to Mario, I really did, but I couldn't possibly. I couldn't even go to the grocery store without having an anxiety attack. Oh, come on, what's the worst that could happen? Goombella pressed, as if Bowser wasn't the king of crime. If you don't make it back, I'll know he did something to you. We'll all know he killed you. He wouldn't dare hurt you. He'd be thrown in jail faster than a toad could say, Yahoo! Somehow her plan didn't instill confidence in me. Yeah, it was nice that if he killed me, they'd throw him in jail, but I'd also be, dead. And I'd rather not be. As a matter of fact, it was getting really late and I was getting really tired. There's absolutely no way I'm going to do something as dangerous as this. Okie dokie, my mouth said against my will. Why? Why do you betray me, mouth? Oh, Luigi! Goombella hopped up and down cheerfully. I knew you were braver than you were. That didn't make sense. I knew you weren't as pathetic as I first thought. Okay, ow. Your brother must be so proud of you. Ah, that was the first compliment that I could really feel. It invigorated me. It felt like I had 100 power stars coursing through my body. That's right, I'm a Mario brother. Luigi #1! I shouted awkwardly. I wasn't gonna put myself down for saying something so weird. Not right now. Yeah, you go, Luigi! Goombella shouted, happy as can be. I'll drive you as close as I can to his club. Afterwards, I'll come back and clean up after Popple's mess and hand everyone's stuff back. You'll be on your own, but I know you can do it. Ah, wait, we're going right now? Maybe we could have another donut? Yep, there's no time for donuts, Luigi. Let's go. She was right, I think. I can do this. Let's go. All right, that was long. That took a while. A lot of retakes. Don't know how many of those will actually appear in the video. Yeah. I hope I did better this time with the pacing. I hope I didn't speak too fast. Maybe, I don't think I mumbled too much. But I hope I didn't speak too fast, at least. That's something that can sometimes happen, and then it's really hard to understand and everything. Yeah. Well, anyway, thank you for listening, and I will see you next time. Or you'll hear me next time. Yeah, okay. Ciao. Couldn't help but be jealous of them. Wish I could be as happy as they were. Actually, I couldn't help being jealous, because I couldn't help but be jealous. It's like double negatives. English. She put on a tough face, but if there's one thing I understand, it's the fear of not fitting in.
Evening, Goombella.
At its end, a pair of police lights sat forlornly, as if beginning to light up. Okay, that's okay. This is a sentence, all right. Yes, it is indeed a sentence. Will you stop? I've always wanted to be good at any sport, you know? Tennis, golf, but... Tennis, This is... Have fun. Have fun editing this. If it's being edited. Because if it's not being edited, then I just look kind of stupid. Sound kind of stupid. And the stupidity continues.
Goombella,
Goombella, ist das jo... Okay, freaking... Damn it. Ist that... Goombella, ist that you? He screamed, steam hissing out of his ears. And I don't care if you're Queen Bean herself. You'll be handling all your money over to me, see? Yeah, no, okay, I know I said handling, but you know what? It works with the accent, I think. The mean bean was looking less green as his entire body was soon covered with The mean bean was looking less green as his entire body. No, please. Okay. The mean bean was looking less green as his entire body was soon covered with a red sheen. What the? Was all Popple managed to get out, a fireball shooting out blindly. Said fireball and bounced against the wall and landed firmly against Waluigi's, his behind. Oh, this one's name was Marissa. Talk, or I give you a bonking. That seemed to be a language he understood all too well. Sorry. Oh my god, I'm gonna have to repeat so many lines. I'm going to have to edit so much. Like this, for example. Like, no, this is not the entertaining kind of thing. This is the stupid thing that I want to cut out. Like, seriously, in the serious sense, actually. I want to say something. Should say something. I should say something like, you're driving so well right now. You're doing a great job as a policewoman. You could play soccer, I bet. But the light turned green, and Goombella didn't have her mouth on the bars. She didn't accelerate right away, and of course... honk. It'd be nice to put a sound effect there.